Priti, over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. A very good evening to everyone. I welcome to you all to this amazing learning session that we conduct on every Wednesdays evening 7 to 8. My name is Preeti. I'm one of the sales specialists at Protest Professional Training. So before we move ahead, let me give you a quick overview about us. Protest is a certification institute which provide upskilling courses to the professionals like HR generalists, HR analytics, advanced certification program, post trainer to deliver post trainings, business analytics manager certification, corporate trainer and facilitator trainer certification, certified practitioner coach certification, and emotional intelligence trainer and coach certification. We also provide customized programs. So all the programs are accredited by the topmost bodies like ICF, SHRM, HRCS, CPD, and IBEC. I'm so glad to see many existing students, team members, and aspiring students of Protege who have joined this amazing learning session. I would like to know from each and every audience your location. From which locations you belong. You can please unmute yourself or share your location in the chat box. Ruhi has joined from Ghaziabad, Aparna ma'am, Gurgaon, Pune, Mumbai. I can see many Mumbai people joining. Bangalore, Jaipur, Baramati, Coimbatore, nice. Hyderabad, Gwalior, Kolkata, Pune. Ma'am, most of them are Pune from Gurgaon, Chennai, Hyderabad as well. Goa as well. Noida, nice. Aurangabad. That's very nice to know from you. So now let's begin our learning session with our guest speaker of today's evening, Prerna Rajan. I would like to take a moment to introduce everyone with our today's guest speaker, Prerna Rajan, a distinguished HR professional with 20 plus years of experience with Demco Solutions, designated as Vice President and Business HR Head. Prerna has always preferred to stay on the ground to drive organizational growth. She is an alchemist turning raw talent into high octane teams that ignite explosive business success. She inspires the culture of actionable insights and practical strategies, unlocking the future for a full potential of team and driving desired success. We also have our very beloved Dr. Aparna Sethi with us today evening, who is the founder of Protest Professional Training and is also distinguished HR professional. And she will be the moderator of today's evening session. Over to you, Prerna.
Thanks a ton, Preeti, for such a superlative description.
Thank you so much, Priti, for that energetic opening.
Yeah.
Thanks a ton, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today for this evening. I'm excited to know, learn from, experienced person like Prerna. And without wasting any time, a single minute, we are starting with the session. So are you ready? If you're ready, please put it in the chat box, everyone. Yes. Let me see how many of you are ready to take up this session today. Okay, that's wonderful. The speed of chat messages is going high and it is Komal, Lena, wonderful. Okay, that's great to know, everyone. So before we begin, I will be asking a lot of questions to Prerna. Our plan is that till 7:45, we will know and we will try to learn from Prerna, and I will be taking your questions afterwards. That is 7:45 onwards. Hope that works with you. Okay. In case if you want to put some questions, do put it in the chat box. If I find it relevant, I will try to take it there and there only. Okay. I would like to know from our audiences, on the scale of 1 to 5, how much knowledge you have regarding HR processes, where 1 is the lowest and 5 is the highest. Let me know. It will help Prerna also to set the tone for the session. On the scale of 1 to 5, how much knowledge you have about HR processes? Ruhi is saying 3.5, 3. Namita is saying 3. Sahana is saying 1. Okay. That's wonderful. 3.5. Okay. That's quite precise, I must say. Urbika is saying 3. Amazing, everyone. So my and Prerna's attempt will be, if we can add to your knowledge and take this number to 0.5% ahead. I think if we can do that, that will be the super successful session, I will say. Okay, great. So, Prerna, since there are many participants are also there on one, I think let's take one primary question and then we will begin with our other discussion.
Sure.
What do we mean by HR processes?
Yeah. So, first of all, thanks, Aparna, for setting the context, and thanks all the participants. It's not that I'm here to share my knowledge, because here, of course, the inputs from everyone and what we learn on daily basis, that goes a lot in learning on daily basis. So, and so it's as rightly said, what Preeti has mentioned, that I always try to stay on ground, and I love that. It's just because I want to learn from you all. And while and it's a very, very important thing that all of you are doing self-reflection on a scale of 5, though it's not an absolute number, but at least you are reflecting, and that's what is very much important. So if I talk about what is agile process, coming back to the question, so it is the agile value chain. What kind of value do you bring in the entire organization cycle? That includes everything. That includes employee, people also. So that is the agile process.
Whenever we speak to maybe startup founders, CEOs, and people in position, they always say that the secret of success is consistency.
Yeah,
And consistency we can bring only if we have effective processes in place.
absolutely.
One of my bosses always used to say that make sure your processes are so effective that no one will need a brain to use it.
Absolutely.
Any person in your office should be able to utilize that process, and that's how the processes should be, right? So what do you think, Prerna, when we talk about employee satisfaction? Nowadays no one talks about employee satisfaction. Everyone wants to create that wow
Yeah.
moments, right?
Yeah.
But employee experience, how HR processes can help to create employee experience.
So very first thing which you stated a very valid point, wherein create processes. So it's not only HR processes, any process, business process, project process, every process has to be made in a way that it does not, but it should not appear complex. It should not demotivate. It does. Means I would say that the key is measure what matters. Okay, so when we always keep this clarity that measuring what matters, then it automatically helps us to create a very easy to understand process. Life is not complicated. Actually, what happens then, like let's say Pythagoras, he introduced Pythagoras theorem. Instead of understanding his theorem and using that theorem in our life, our education system focuses on Pythagoras theorem, and we get, oh, this is a jargon. So the jargon, and that's how we digress from actually the very simplified process of Pythagoras. Similarly, in process also, though we say HR process, HR is a very integral part of the organization and business. So the process has to be simple. Uh, uh, so, sorry. So, what was your question? That what is needed for employee satisfaction?
That's right.
Yeah,
How HR processes
right,
can help to
right,
create good employee
right,
experience.
right. Now, just I would take up the entire HR value chain, because every value has a satisfaction touch point. So whether it's right from hiring to onboarding to employee management to development to performance management, everywhere, in every function, in every process, we should be very clear what actually we want. Now, let's say if it is the hiring piece, and there also the talent whom we are attracting, they are going to become or not become our employee, is then also that piece has to be very sensitively handled. So there, let's say our focus is to acquire, to onboard our good talent with good attitude, with good knowledge. So every person in the entire HR value chain, whether it's a recruiter or sourcer or hiring manager, they should understand the process very well. What I see, the sourcer would just use the robotic keywords to understand, oh, this person has this. Okay, you have this. You want, what is the salary? What is your current? What do you want? Where do you work? Very robotic conversation, and then it is passed on to the senior recruiter who would do some conversation, would not even understand the JD properly. So right from there only the gap starts. Though a very simple thing is that immediately that time only the team should have the meeting with the hiring manager, understand the background of the client, of the project, of the job description, because 3/4 of the job descriptions are jargons. The people who must have floated those job description might not be even aware of what is written in the job description. Us are not aware what it is in that. So therefore, it is very important that uh, measure what matters, in the sense that we should be very clear what is the objective and what are the result areas. Like today, the objective is to learn certain processes. And to achieve that objective, you all started reflecting on yourself that in HR process, I scored 1, I scored 2, I scored 3. I have to take myself from 3 to 3.5 to 2.5 or 3. So it has to number. It has to be numbered. Then only you get clarity. Because once you start giving numbers to it, then you understand that you yourself have made the process quite complex, that you're not able to rate it. Because you're not able to understand how can you rate it. Similarly, in onboarding, like currently, recently, the entire world faced challenges calling people back to office. And similarly, us. And there is not a single day when you do not have a very complex question which is not mentioned in the HR process. Come what may, you mention everything in your SOP, still you will always get a unique case. But if your objectives are clear, then you will immediately get the solution also. So we saw that, that we people are decorating the workspaces. HR is welcoming them, convincing them, giving them gifts. We know that most of the time, whatever gifts we give, though we give, still there is no end to it. We park it, we keep it, or we have more expectation. Instead, we realize that why and these things are all happening because of a lot of talking and a lot of listening. I mean, whenever we want to make any process simple, we have to open a lot of channels for a lot of talking and a lot of listening. Then only you get what works for your organization. And for this, we have many channels like Ask Damco or town halls or team talk. We are leveraging our Viva Engage also from all sectors. A lot of questions and putting them under a lot of buckets to understand what actually our people want. And I was surprised that it's not only that our people came back to office, of course, it's a hybrid model, but participating in mocktail, participating in jute bag. I was really surprised, all those people whom I have observed as very robotic and very dot to dot, approach, that from this time to this time I'll complete, and after that I'll go out for fabric and all those. It's those people participating in such programs, because all these processes were made keeping by involving them. So automatically it becomes simple to understand and easy to implement. But again, I would say ideas are still easy to give. Execution is everything. So all of us have to be in this profession, all of us have to be very, very passionate. And we should never feel that any of the process is boring. Because every process, everything has a lot of learning. And automatically, if you capture that, revisit that, a lot of restructuring keeps happening throughout the year. I was just listening to the CHRO of Adani. He said that recently we have restructured our org structure also. So we revisited after a year, and there were a lot of things, because everything changes. And he said that they visit quarterly, and I really found a really logic in this, because in a quarter only you get to see certain things are not working as per the org structure. But we go a very conventional way of making change there. It is a very small step. It is easy to fix rather than turning topsy-turvy the entire org structure for the year and then again do the 9 yards exercise to fix it. So any process we have, if we want to make it simple, we should take baby steps for the correction.
That's wonderful. When you speak about major what matters, I think that is
Yeah.
that's really great lesson we have. Maybe I may a little deviate, but did you mention something about jute bag?
Yeah.
What's that? I mean,
Yeah.
sounds interesting.
Yeah. So, we we realize that we are a very, very simple, very kiddish thing, wherein people would come and during their some slot coming in groups, they will paint the jute bag, and eco-friendly kind of drive also they are driving and carry it. Now we know that none of them can paint, nor they can sketch, barring few. But then how to have mass participation? Again, it's not rangoli, the way rangoli or anything wherein, who would go and participate. Again, making business sense in this, that how to bring people bond and help them bond and start enjoying this place. So there is a business context to it. It is not just ha ha he he types. So what did we do? See how HR has to be creative. We called a master, a drawing teacher. We gave them stencils. And the drawing teacher went to every seat to guide them. A very small investment, but a huge return. We really saw such a huge footfall, and everyone carrying that bag with pride to the office, carrying their tiffin and bottles in that. So again, this is not written anywhere. This is again, you understand your organization, you understand your people, you understand their strengths and weaknesses, and then you tweak your process accordingly.
Absolutely. I think you said it very nicely that you need to listen, you need to keep talking, you need to have focus group discussions. I think that's very important. Recently, we did this activity, and I'm sure some of my team members are here, and they now will get to know that it was all planted when I asked them. So, we need to do all that, right? So I went to some of our team members and I asked them, what is it that one thing you miss from your college days or your school days? And they said, one thing we miss is we used to have drawing classes, we used to have singing, we used to have book clubs, and all these things we used to have, but that is something we miss. And, I got a clue from there. And then there are 2, 3 very enthusiastic team members we have. And we came together and we said, why can't we come up for something, where they can fulfill this particular want? And this is where we started with Passionate Pro. And we have now clubs in the company, and that is where people will paint. There are some people who will be singing. And then we said we will come up with the talent show. I think many people take these things like, as you said, like Rangoli and all.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the team needs to come together. They need to break the boundaries.
Yeah, and a lot of thought is required in that, whatever they are doing. Today, a very relevant thing, Parna, what you mentioned on talent show. I follow Mahindra a lot. I really like his tweets. So today only he tweeted on Dr. Nambiar. ICICI had conducted a singing competition for senior citizens. and he's a
Oh,
70+ man, and he usually sings Muhammad Rafi. So I saw his tweet, and I saw him, I could hear him singing, saw him, and I really got then digressed to his profile and I visited. So he runs a dental setup,
mhm.
and such a small thing, and he was so happy. He was thanking ICICI, probably that kind of happiness, that kind of platform nobody was giving to a common singer. uh, so you might be already igniting a lot of passion and giving the platform to so many people who would really like to show their talent, which we don't even realize in
Definitely.
our day-to-day.
Yeah, that's so true. And more and more HR professionals I meet, because last to last week I was conducting some sessions for the companies preparing their employees, because now they are hiring employees from LGBTQ community. So I
Mm.
was talking to the HR head of the company, and she said, Parna, my job is only one: go and talk to people. I check
Yeah,
my emails and everything after 10 o'clock in the night.
yeah,
My job is only to go and speak to them, because
yeah,
I need to understand their pulses. And,
right.
she feels very uncomfortable if she's not able to speak to people. I think
Yeah,
that is a wonderful thing to know about, that how we need to speak to people to
yeah,
solve people's problem, to make them feel more engaged. I think the only way to speak and listen to them as a HR,
yeah.
right?
So Aparna, here also we have done a very different thing. Like, of course, that lady is in HR, but we know that she's in HR only for us. For the entire organization, they don't know that she's in HR, and we have dedicated that person to talking to people one on one. And here the manager would scold, and they would acceptable punching bag for them to immediately vent out before these employees they take any impulsive step. And
Uh-huh.
they feel so free talking to her, because she does not have any preconceived notion. If they'll talk to me, I'll start getting, even if would not like, then also I'll start thinking of solutions.
Wow.
She comes with a very straight feedback on HR, and we have a very flat structure, so that feedback goes to all the stakeholders. It is not a secret feedback in the closed group only, of course, because that person is maintaining confidentiality. And I have seen, by God, that of course feedbacks are so messy, but it has made the process so easy,
Hmm.
because then
Right.
you get the real pulse. It's not covered. Then you know what is going wrong in your process, what you need to correct.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, out of curiosity, I'm asking, do you think that when we develop HR processes, do you think we need to have a knowledge of design thinking somewhere?
Of course, see, one cannot at all forgo the design thinking and the knowledge of. I mean, nobody can actually uh, remove knowledge from whatever we are implementing, because knowledge brings some semblance of the success of that thought process, that sampling of such process, that how like when Intel had only introduced, Intel and Google, they had introduced measure what matters. So they have years of success samples on that. So when you go for any kind of design thinking, so with that comes the sample of success. So you know whether you would like to uh, keep that thinking as it is, or you would like to customize that. But yes, there has to be some framework, there has to be a design thinking to suit to the DNA, to the business direction of that organization. That's of course I would always vouch for that.
There is a wonderful saying that, as you said, they have a huge sample, they have a huge data before implementing anything. And that's so true. We always say one thing, that there are no best practices, there are only best fits. Like,
Yeah,
for example, one another company might be giving a work life balance, flexible work timing. That may not be fit for you. what kind of workforce you have, what kind of work you are into, what kind of business you are into. That we need to check and come up with the,
Yeah.
your benefits or your systems. And if it is best fit, it will automatically will become best practice. Uh, Otherwise, it is not possible, isn't it?
Yeah, so like, I think the doctors, nurses, they have to take this pledge. And I would say that in service industry, everyone has to take this pledge that if you enjoy this, you have to have passion. If you
Mhm.
start balancing it, that I'm not getting a balance, then of course, it would be very frustrating experience and it would not benefit either side. So, but whoever enters into the service industry, they should love their service. They should enjoy that they are adding value to the life of so many people. They are influencing so many people. I think
So
that itself gives a lot of peace of mind.
wonderful. I think let me ask some participants here who are attending the session. Hey, are you finding it insightful? Are you getting some knowledge? Let us know, because we are speaking here,
Yeah, it
and
should not turn out to be just dialogue.
so let me know in the chat box, how is it going? If you have any questions, keep posting in the chat box so that I will get to know everyone. Yes. Okay. Absolutely. It is a great idea about recent HR trends. Okay, Divya, thank you so much for that. Okay. So I would also like to know, Prerna, very important it is that is, if
I
while
think,
you are,
sorry, I'm so sorry, Aparna, here Vivek does not have the clarity of the topic of today's webinar.
so Vivek, today we are discussing on how to develop effective HR processes. Okay. I hope now you know it. So I would like to ask you another question, that while we are developing HR process, how can we align those processes, um, you know, with business?
So here, Aparna, again, I would like to differ.
Uh-huh.
HR, it's not only HR. Every department, they have to be part of the business. Otherwise, then they are not required. Okay, so when we talk about how to align, so we can say yes, how effectively, whether they understand, whether they are able to deliver what is expected. So again, here, I would say that HR has to participate. Now here, to align with the business, again, it is talking and listening, but again, with the business stakeholders. Like if I talk about hiring piece, the entire hiring team should understand the entire offerings of that organization, what whomsoever they are hiring, how it is related with the job description, with the project of the team, how was the last hire doing. Yes, they should understand the entire narrative. Then it brings a lot of difference in the delivery. Otherwise, it's a very robotic. They are very short-lived, they are frivolous, and all those who are intense, they understand, they walk with the hiring manager and with the employee, they are able to satisfy both parties. Similarly, onboarding also. So the onboarding team should understand that what is the passion of the employee who is being onboarded, what is the business course they want this person to be onboarded, and there are certain things to be met immediately after joining. What preparation is needed before the person joins, what kind of orientation should be initiated before the person is joining. So unless and until HR does not understand these things, they'll not be able to deliver. Similarly, Miss Performance appraisal is not to just increase someone's salary or give anyone's rating. This is again aligned with the business that every year the business has certain goals. Every year, whatever levels, bands we have, the set of talent we have, the set of center of excellence we have, how they are contributing to the objective of the organization. So it cannot be summed up in such a short way. But the thing is that whatever we are delivering, it has to align with the objective of the department, of the project, of the function for whomsoever we are delivering that, and we should know what are the result areas. And again, numbers. We started our session with 1, 2, 3. So result areas has to have a number. Aparna wanted to become a doctor. That was her objective, to gain that. Now to get that, she must have decided 1, 2, 3 result areas. And those result areas have to have number. That when she completes her PhD, she should get a grade or score of this much. When her college score should be of this much, her thesis, her research score should be this much. Because we cannot remove scores, because that verifies that whatever rituals you have followed, whatever steps you have followed has helped you achieve success. So I do not see a single day where I don't have to immediately get into the business understanding to solve that problem. Even if I am talking about separation, even if I am talking about the understanding of the compliance of, let's say, Europe is a very, very labor intensive compliant place wherein it is very difficult HR setup there, So unless and until I do not understand, it's not only compliance, I have to understand the business context also. That if we are hiring people there, is it making any business sense, or we should all get drained into these GDPRs and other compliances? So I see this kind of question for HR quite often, Aparna, wherein are they aligned with business? It is, I think it's high time that, and that is the reason, that I have never ever removed business from my role. That business matters. Whatever we are doing,
Absolutely.
business matters. Even the gatekeeper who is standing outside, if he is not able to welcome and maintain the compliance, he's impacting the business. So everyone is
Absolutely.
aligned with the business.
Yes. And I have to give this reminder to our hiring team and recruitment team all the time that you need to understand the business. And there is one language we use it, there is best candidate and the best fit. There is a
Yeah,
difference.
there's a
There is a difference that you may have a great communication, you may have a great thing, but the cultural fitment is very important,
yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
So all these things we have to keep it in mind. Now, let me ask you the most important question. I will say, let me put it in this way that nation, the
Come
nation
on.
wants to know.
Yeah.
And you know what is that question is? Now, when we are having so many HR processes all around, do you think the jobs in the field of HR will go down? Do
It
you
is going
think?
up. We are talking. See, we
Yes.
are
So,
talking. We would have had either to have this 1 hour meeting in person. I think we would have to travel for 2 hours and not being able to connect with so many people. We would have had to book one day, people coming from. So there are a lot of things around that for just 1 hour meeting. So we would have dropped it. It was not so often people meeting and discussing such constructive things. So the job role, productivity, value add, everything is increasing. Rather, I'm enjoying it much more than what earlier we used to be so dependent on everything, so physical and so time taking. Now results are everything goes Zoom.
absolutely. If you look at it, the technology is helping us to make employees, applicants, or candidates experience better. Earlier, like for example, if we are calling them, if they are not picking up the call, automatic messages going, automatic
Yeah,
JDs going. See, this is
right.
the opening. I'm trying to get in touch with you, for the job. And please call me back because many times it's very difficult to talk to the candidates when they are at
Yeah,
workplace. So everything, if you look at it, salary slips, people used to come and wait. And I still recall that if I have to go to my HR and ask for salary slips, पहले तो वो सोचेगा कि भाई तू जॉब तो नहीं छोड़ रही है, नहीं मिलेगी
Ah,
सैलरी स्लिप, and then I
right.
used to make that reason that I want to take a bank loan,
Yes,
and that's why you
yes,
want a salary slip.
right, right.
Now
Absolutely,
salary
yes.
slip is not a problem, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you just take it.
yeah,
Leaves, I still recall leaves. We used to think so many
mm,
times that, oh
uh,
my God, how will I go? Is my boss is in good mood, not good mood? And uh, थोड़ा सा buttering भी करना पड़ता था, and then we are asking for the leave. Now you don't have to wait for the leave. Like leave is your right, and you will get it. I think this process has certainly made employees' life better.
yeah.
However, we need the adaptable HR people who will be, who should adapt to the HR tech. That is what I think. What is your view on this?
Rather, that's what I'm saying that, while talking to you, it reminded me, there was a time when we used to add recruiters to our team. The very first test used to be write the Boolean search. Okay. And then,
Right.
wow, the Boolean search is amazing.
Yeah.
And now with the press of a button with ATS, so many resumes get harvested. And then those recruiters now they are focusing on actually analyzing uh, the projects better. Earlier, they
Mm.
did not have time to actually understand their projects, understand the experience in the projects. So all of us, I think, when certain things which appeared quite transactional has become very faster. I'm not saying that we are not getting insights from the the uh, the technology,
Mhm.
and technology is everywhere. I mean, it's so difficult to actually understand where it is not. So of course it is quite intensive and it's quite enjoyable. Like Gurgaon has so many book clubs. Now to have a book club, to have a like-minded people, to have that kind of groups, it used to be so difficult. Now, currently, from my job, I mean, I have a meeting after this. I have pushed my meetings, and I'm really enjoying talking to you all. Only technology is helping, and I'll take all these ideas, and then I'll go with a fresh mind in my organization. I'll apply, implement certain things. I
Mhm.
think one has to always understand, of course, everything has a positive and negative side. Like, as you said, Aparna, that now they don't have to make excuses. They can download their salary slip and apply anywhere. But again, even if we are hiding the salary slip, the person who has to go will go.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
so we have to understand this fact that just hiding and having any kind of conventional method is not going to help. So, how to be more progressive and
Mhm.
how not to shy away seeing our numbers, because that helps us to improve our numbers. So we shy away from, oh my God, HR dashboard would show my performance. HR dashboard would not show my performance. HR dashboard would remove chaos and it would help me to bring clarity. So
Mhm.
if we start looking this way, that how I'm going to progress and you yourself would enjoy, it's a very fulfilling experience. And it's a very, very I mean, I think HR is the function wherein they have to be very, very progressive and all the time on the feet, a lot of reading, because I see that there are many samples. It keeps changing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, Girija has asked a wonderful question that is, how can you focus on certain important HR processes for startup?
Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, See here, we here in our organization, we our pitch is to our clients and to our people is that though we are expanding, but we think like a startup. We call ourselves a big and small company. We are becoming big, but we are not losing the touch. So I think in a startup, if you will talk to any startup, any organization which were a startup earlier, you will see that the learning is much more intense because the kind of bond they share, the kind of talking they do, the kind of listening they have, that is quite amazing. So if I talk about HR process, and it is not only startup, it is again that what is the focus of the organization currently? Uh, uh, is Miss, is it a product company? Is it a service company? Then accordingly, the strategy for setting up the HR process changes because there is a little different mindset. There is a little difference in the focus that what all functions of the HR process, the value chain you would like to keep, whether you would like to outsource certain piece and keep certain things in-house. So these are all, it's not one size fit all. It's all depends on that what is the direction, what is the focus of your organization. So usually you will see that initially when there is a startup culture, so the owner, the founder of the person of the organization, they try to play the role of HR and sales both, business development, because the pain lies here. It has to come from heart. It has to come from the gut. So the way they feel that, probably hiring a CHRO or any person would not solve this because they have to think from the gut. But gradually, of course, when they have to focus on business, they have to expand, they have to bring formal HR process. And it is always good that somebody who has spent some time already in the organization takes up the role. Of course, external intervention is always required. As you said, people with design thinking and knowledge should be always inducted. So it all depends that out of broad 5, 6 HR process, what do you want to keep formal? What all you want to outsource? It is always said that it is easier to outsource hiring. Nowadays, people are outsourcing interviews also because there are certain kind of skill sets you don't have in-house, so you don't have people who can interview them. So there are so many platforms which offer this service, and so startups at times go with outsourcing certain things, and gradually as and when the right time comes, they start having the formal HR process. But again, talking and listening would not change.
Thank you so much. And here I would like to also share my experience when I started my company, everyone. You know, startup has become glamorous currently. However, let me tell you, startups face major challenge to get the talent as well. As Prerna said rightly, they don't have a HR department. The founder members looking after everything because to a great extent, they still find HR as a little cost because they want to focus more on revenue. They say, I know business, I will get people, at least till the time they have 30, 40 people. Then they will think about having a separate HR. And that too also hiring, not complete HR also. So now when I started, I was also facing a lot of challenge. Let me tell you everyone now when people see 80, 90 people with ProTouch and then they say, I want to join you. But imagine a day when I was alone sitting in my cabin and there was only one office boy and one more girl. And people coming for the interview and the office pura khali pada hua hai. How you will get these people? Then, I spoke to some people who were not accepting our offers. And those who accepted the offers, I said, why did you choose? Why did you choose ProTouch? And they said, when we went to different companies, we felt that you have processes here. Means what? There is attendance system, basic. Second, we used to started giving them a guarantee that, you will get your salaries on time. You are in safe hands. Don't worry. Okay. I still recall Rahul used to say on over my dead body, my salaries will never get delayed. He says that very proudly. That gives a conviction to the people that, okay, I'm safe. Third very important thing is this performance reviews because people have a feeling that it will be biased. मतलब ये लाला कंपनी जैसे होगा अगर फाउंडर को अच्छा लगेगा तो मुझे रखेगा नहीं तो नहीं रखेगा because India has seen such kind of startups and hence people had a lot of fear to join startups. Okay, but now what has happened? Now people who have worked with established brands passing out from great institutes. They have started their startup. Because of that, they have that process orientation. Put the process in place, you will get people. हाँ, लेकिन कोई भी एचआर कभी कॉल कर रहा है, ईमेल भी नहीं आया, there is no digital footprints of this company, we don't know which company it is. This is not going to work, everyone. In fact, I will tell you, startups needs to start with HR processes first if you want a great talent to work. Otherwise, people will have an insecurity. I know Gen Z is coming and they are not looking for PF and all, but अंडरस्टैंड वो 1% ही है. इंडिया बहुत बड़ा है, भारत बहुत बड़ा है, और देयर पीपल स्टिल नीड दैट जॉब सिक्योरिटी. एंड हेंस for startups, processes are important, everyone. Basic processes: attendance, salary, leaves, right? Then your PF, medical. These things are very important whether you are a startup or MNC. क्योंकि ना कोई भी एम्प्लॉय MNC को देख के या स्टार्टअप को देख के नहीं ज्वाइन करता, वो अपनी जॉब सिक्योरिटी देख के ज्वाइन करता है. फर्स्ट सिक्योरिटी एंड देन ग्रोथ. What is the point you are giving great training and great promotion if I'm not getting my salary on time? Because I have worked with this company जहां पे हम कैलकुलेट करते थे, is this a March or Feb? कौन सी सैलरी आ गई? Okay, think about it. So basic things are very important in startups. I hope, Girija, you will get the answer my side. Thank you so much. Okay, because that is what we have experienced at the beginning, and we always say, you remember, Prerna, when I was at that
Yeah.
event,
Yeah.
everyone was saying HR and founder,
Yeah.
HR and founder. It
The
is
way
quite
Chantal
possible.
became the CEO,
Yeah,
Unilever, it made a news.
right,
HR becoming the CEO?
right.
Again, question how HR would align with the business.
Great. I think Ashok has asked a wonderful question. What are the key processes that's okay? I think Ashok, we have addressed your question. So Ruhi is asking, how does the cost impact the design of the processes?
Again, I think Ruhi, Aparna already covered that a startup, if they want to really flourish, they have to invest on HR process, which initially appears to be a cost,
Hmm.
but that cost is worth to keep everything in place. So the cost impact analysis of the design has to be done with what is the outcome you want to
Hmm.
achieve. So you will see always a long-term gain in that rather than going in a very casual way and faltering in between, which we saw. I mean, I don't want to name any ed tech, but we have seen certain startups faltering. They went very aggressive, but they did not have HR in place because one more thing, Aparna, that in many business houses, the business decision makers, they don't give the equivalent seat to the HR. And that's why when we see that they falter and suddenly overnight, all the employees, they have to leave. So HR is actually doing the transactional job because the direction has come that we made the wrong decision and XYZ needs to be filed. Okay, so that correction is also very, very important that, so here I would say that yes, there are many organizations where HR is not aligned with the business because they are not in the decision-making seat.
Right. Actually, if you recall, last week I wrote one thing that, HR is a lonely job sometimes, and how it is. And I was very surprised with so many comments coming that, yes, I do feel lonely at workplace. And this is where the leadership attitude makes a huge difference. And when Ruhi, it comes to, I think, cost, I think if your processes are in place, the most important impact is a duplication of the work. The data gets preserved very well. Otherwise, it will be extremely tough for us to maintain data as far as in HR is concerned.
Yeah.
So there is I was expected this question, and this question has come.
Yeah.
Will AI replace HR?
coming back, I would like to complete Rohi's question that
Sure.
reusability metrics means you will understand like all the software engineers, they use this term. So that is applicable everywhere. That you need to have a certain asset which are reusable. That saves the cost.
Mhm.
Yeah. Will AI
Absolutely.
replace HR job?
Yeah, because nowadays people don't stay with that company for a very long time. Earlier, what used to happen, I know it, it is in my mind. Now, for example, people come, people go. And if you don't have, like, yesterday only it happened that same candidate came for the interview. I mean, the person applied. We immediately went on the system and we got to know that this person has already applied, passed also. I said, okay, what was the reason for rejecting this person? Then entire data was there in front of us, and I said,
Yeah.
no, we will not go ahead. Just imagine, it's the smallest of the smallest thing, but because of processes, you can save a lot of work, and you can save your organization too with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, because nowadays, if people go along with that, data goes.
Data.
And if the data goes, then it will be very tough,
Yes.
right?
So when you talk about the AI, so
Uh,
earlier the knowledge bank used to go, it used to say, oh my God, the intellectual property gone. And
mm,
especially with HR, there's so much of information. There is so much of knowledge of the past, history of the organization is there that whenever any HR moves, there that is the biggest impact. But with AI coming, I think, and with the process in place, a lot of it has given a lot of breathing space to the organization and to the HR community to maintain the history. So I see that, what all, I'm so sorry that I'm speaking more from IT perspective because there I see clients following traceability metrics, reusability metrics, and actually we should follow in HR also. Means it's applicable across.
mm.
So uh, will AI replace HR job? AI is capable of replacing everyone's job, can replace PM's job also. Okay. So if we want to talk about that, then it is a very limited understanding.
Mm.
Uh, like we should always think in terms of that how I am going to be elevated in my job with AI. Now, if it is able to do the coding, Chat GPT earlier was on language. Now they have added art. They have added all compliance contracts. Now even now coding and all those things. So is that the job is going to finish? So somebody who is developing these kind of ML programs with a lot of learning and learning and learning. So it's again a human mind only who is building this. It's not falling from somewhere else. So the person behind who is making this shows that any day that person has more scope of development. So AI is going to it's a co-pilot in real
Mm.
sense.
Mm.
AI is a co-pilot in our life. It would definitely take us to a greater height.
Certainly, it will make our jobs easy, right? Like today, also, if any person says, Chalo, make a policy of this, they say, oh, yes, madam, I will get it. But
Yeah.
the first word, I'm thrilled to announce this policy. We know this is ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So
Right.
this language, everything. So
Uh,
human being needs to have a brain to say that, okay, I need to replace these words
right.
because these are very common. If you don't have those personal touch, I'm saying that thrilled word is dead now. Because instead of that, that feeling, oh, the person is happy, thrilled, people say, Acha, chat GPT,
Yeah.
right? So understand, we need to understand it will have a limitation, but yes, repetitive jobs may get replaced. So very important, how is your strategic brain? How are you able to learn
Yeah.
strategically,
Right.
which has no substitute, everyone. I
Right.
think that is very important, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Absolutely.
and very important it is we should not have too much attitude. Attitude will give us the substitute, that is something which we should
That
be
won't
very much
change.
aware.
That
Yeah,
won't change. Yes.
absolutely. So basic things are very, very, very important. I think Ruhi has shared something. I have been with the organization 8 years, spent 8 years preparing for the processes, onboarding and Ruhi, would you like to share something? Please unmute yourself. Would love to have your insights.
So I have been part of UKG from last 8 years, and I have created a lot of process because when I joined, there were only 500 employees here in India at Noida Center. Now there are more than 3,500 employees, and it's a global company with 15,000 plus employees now.
Uh-huh.
So I was the one who was hired to, you know, to have an onboarding, basic onboarding process in place. But over the years, I have been able to did a lot of automation in terms of we have different tools which a new hire can do. So nobody needs to bring papers at the time of joining, what details they can have pre-joining, how they can come to office and have a tour of the office before joining. So
Yeah.
these are some examples that no matter how much automation you do, no matter how much AI will come, if a robot will go and answer those feeded questions of a new joiner or a candidate, the moment they step in the organization, or the moment they have their eyes on the organization for an opening, they will still have to go through that entire new hire experience journey till the time if they get selected or not. So they will still need that human to reach out to, that okay, I can speak to this person and have, there have been candidates sharing their thoughts that I couldn't ask the recruiter, I couldn't ask the hiring manager, can you answer this for me? So it's a lot, but yeah, so that's my journey, and I'm working very passionately on creating all the processes, relocation, be it leave policy, be it benefits, be it and now I'm part of taking the training on the posh TTD as well. So a lot to learn.
Ruhi, right.
Yeah.
That's great to know, Ruhi, and we can see that from your seems to be busy right now with your family, still taking out time
I
from
have
the.
two kids, and it's their sleep time. It's their bedtime, and they're just around me. They're just not leaving me.
Yeah, so see again,
That's
Rohi, you
wonderful.
are able to handle your kids, although it's their peak time and your career also. This is again,
Yes.
no technology only can make it possible. So
That's so
again,
true.
the co-pilot thing.
So, Prerna, let's take a last question for the evening. And Shubhankar has asked us the question that how we can retain employees by HR processes.
I think we started on this note only, that how we need to keep listening to them and visit our HR process, make it easier to understand. And I think once they understand, they know where they are, and they will understand what is happening with them. So even basic attendance things. Okay, if we have certain roles wherein they have to follow, there are certain roles they can get flexibility. There are certain roles they have to follow certain in and out time. So if if you make the person understand their role, where they are contributing, how the client is happy, where this role would take that person ahead, how is he contributing, how his commitment is bringing a lot of difference in life, how um, I have also seen that there are a lot of people, they go and out of their project they go and work in other projects also. So what kind of reward programs we can have for them? So I think HR processes again understanding the need, basic things of your employee like a family, and then keep tweaking your process. Of course, the main framework has to be intact, and that framework has to be made stronger with the help of uh, the inputs you keep getting from the employees. I have seen we have run so many award programs, reward programs, still people are not satisfied that they are not getting acknowledged. The moment you talk to them and you acknowledge, acknowledgement is always in open, not one on one. That is again a secret compliment, and then it's over. So then that's how then we started introducing a lot of platforms. So again, I'm not saying that invest time in only mothering and praising, because it means business. I'm saying that if they are doing anything which is bringing value to the business chain, we must tell the employee in a simple language. So when we talk about the retention, the person feels like, the very best thing about a startup is, Aparna, that their people, they feel that they get the flexibility to think, flexibility to get their ideas heard. And that is the startup
So
culture. When
true.
I said that, we never want to lose that. Everyone should feel heard, that their ideas being heard, and where even a small letter of it is getting implemented, that should be conveyed. And that
That's so
really
true.
helps all of us. That
That's
if
so true.
somebody has written that, how can we increase salary, keep increasing the salary because we can't increase the cost. It's not only salary. Once you feel part of the family, it is in personal life also. It is applicable everywhere. When you become part of the family, there is oneness, there is fair processes, people would stay put. At least
Absolutely.
I am not experiencing, despite those, 2 years, 2021, when we saw a lot of attrition, handling so many attrition. I have been lucky in that sense. Though in IT industry, attrition is a it's very high. So I would say what Aparna said, that onboarding people would have been difficult, but losing people is not that difficult because a lot of freedom of expression is given you.
Absolutely. You know what? Three words I get from this conversation is called ILR. Involve people, listen to people, and recognize people. I think this is very important for all of us to keep it in mind. Before we end, I just would like to give you one example. There are two websites you have. Website A is an easy payment, great reviews, you get the products on time delivery, you can track the delivery, everything. You can exchange your product if you want, if you don't want. That is one. That is website A. Website B is a lot of payment hustles. You have no clue whether the product is coming on time or not, whether from which website you would like to buy. It's A or B. It is, of course, A, right? And for example, once your experience is good, this website A or the company A will be able to retain the customers really well. Can be little expensive, can be, whatever it is, but still customers will come back to the same company A because the customer experience is hassle free. For HR, our customers are our internal employees. We need to make their life hassle free. The more you do hassle free, and that is where we get to know that, yes, I want to stay with this company. Because understand, India is shining. Right now, roti kapda makan has been taken care by generations. Now people want love, care, involvement, recognition, and hassle-free life. Can HR provide it? If you can, then you can say your HR processes are effective, everyone. So that's all we have for you. And we can't thank enough Prerna for taking out, time from her busy schedule and sharing her experience with us. Isn't it, everyone? So let me know, have you, did we help you to move that 0.5%, 0.5% today in the chat box? Thank you so much, Prerna. It was so wonderful speaking to you and understanding your views. Look forward for more and more interaction with you.
Absolutely. I really, Aparna, thanks a ton for really introducing to the all team. All of them had such beautiful questions, very valid questions, very point
Yes.
on floor level questions. And I can very well relate to all of them. I'm really thankful to all Preeti and Divya and all your team for conducting it so well. And Aparna, thanks for inviting me. I can't thank you more than that.
It's my
And
pleasure.
and both Mr. Sethis and Mrs. Sethi, my all best wishes that you all you are really working for a great cause, and my all best wishes for your progress.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you,
so much,
Prerna. I
Prerna.
think it was such an amazing session. And for me, definitely it has moved more than 0.5.
That's wonderful because in 1 hour time, I think if we can do that much, it's a great. There is a lot to learn, everyone. So this is where we conclude the session. Thank you so much, Prerna. I and Rahul, we are here. If there are any participants who wants to know about HR courses, you can let us know. We can solve your queries and help you out.
Okay.